especially when you're with the same group together. You have all your breaks together. You're in the rain together. You're under a tree together. You all put your ugly raincoats on, and that creates like bonding.
Definitely.
Because you're on the same boat, as we say.
Dear listener, dear viewer, thank you again for joining the Boat Bike Tours podcast. My name is Ennie, I'm the host for this episode, and I usually work in marketing and sales, but today I get to talk with Tom Stout, who is a tour guide for a really long time already for Boat Bike Tours. Tom, I think it's best if you introduce yourself first, and how did you get to Boat Bike Tours, and what are you doing exactly?
I think I can do that. A long time ago, in 2006, on a Thursday, I got a phone call from someone with boats and bicycles, and they needed someone for the next Saturday, so in 2 days. And they got my name from so-and-so, actually the guy that's coming after me to do a podcast.
Oh.
Yes. And I was like, I asked my back then girlfriend, what should I do? I got this weird phone call. And she's like, Tom, you don't have a job. Why don't you do it? So I call back, very enthusiastic, of course. I'm like, of course I want to do that. And so that first season I worked for Boat Bike Tours. Every week a boat would call me, do you want to work or not? That was actually perfect. And it's now 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while.
So you didn't like it at all?
It was the first job I ever did that I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been a while, so that's great. And I think you gained a lot of experience during that time. And that's great, because today I want to talk with you about how to manage big groups on tours. And I think you've seen a few seasons, so you definitely have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, I did sometimes I do a small calculation. 20 years, let's say 20 weeks per year, 30, 40, 50, 80 people. I think I had about 10,000 different tourists over the years.
That's a lot.
There is some experience.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you more do guided or semi-guided tours?
I started guided on a small boat with 18 people. Then I did a few seasons on large boats, like 60, 70, 80 people. But I do prefer the guided tours.
Why?
That means you're biking with the guests all behind you. And you can decide for them when to stop, when to have a coffee, to tell them about random information, touristic information, wherever you stop. And it's just much more interactive for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the semi-guided boats, you tell them a lot in the evening, but then you let them go, and you see them on the way, but you don't have the space or opportunity to tell them whatever you want to tell people.
So you more enjoy the human interaction?
Yeah. If there was not all those people behind me, I would not go cycling.
Of course. But if you're doing more fully guided tours, you probably get a lot of international guests too, right?
Yeah, I think 99% of our guests are very international.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from, a big market has always been Germany, German speakers, but also a lot of Americans, Canadians, Brazilians. We had, just before COVID hit, quite some Asian groups, also very interesting. And I really enjoy just the mix of people, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe they don't like each other on day one, but then slowly they're like, oh, these Americans are actually not so bad. Or this one German, actually we like this German. Maybe at first sight, they're all a bit like not used to meeting international people, but it's actually really fun, I think.
How do you help them get warm with each other?
Yeah, by not being too complicated myself. So a lot of people, they come on that boat and they think, wow, this is going to be stressful. I didn't practice enough. maybe I don't know the rules, but just by letting them, well, giving them the feeling that it's not that difficult and that it's more about doing something together and doing some exercise, but it's not like we're not doing sports. We're there to have a relaxed day, take enough breaks for coffee, for bathroom breaks, lunch breaks, sightseeing breaks. And it has to be a holiday. It's not work for
Yeah.
them.
So, do you sometimes see complications of people not getting along with each other?
Yeah, but I think it's better not to talk about that. Because
Yeah,
now
but maybe
I get all kinds of memories that I usually forget those.
but maybe it's interesting for our listeners also to know how you would solve those obstacles.
Well, actually, because people are on holidays, nobody's really complicated. But yeah, it can happen, for example, that there's a minority of one language and a majority of, I won't tell the nationality, but very loud speakers. People that are very loud on day one at the dinner. And then the minority is like, Tom, is this always like that? I'm like, yes, it's always like that. You better get used to it. But once they get used to it and they interact a lot with the other group, then often they're like, well, it was a bit difficult in the beginning, but now I really enjoy myself.
Yeah. Do you also see that people who maybe came in a group, or you would think in the beginning that they would just stick to themselves, open up to other guests, and then a community or a family-like feeling happens in the end of the tour?
Yeah, I think it always happens. It's just like some nationalities tend to be a little bit more interactive than others. Even like I'm from the Netherlands. I'm Dutch. We are very social, but it takes us also a few days to just talk about all your family and what's the name of your grandchildren and your dog. But like let's call them North Americans, they are much more like on day one. They know all the names of everybody. They know all the family names, all the children names, and the dog names and the cat names. So, but yeah, you have a week the time. And in a week, especially when you're with the same group together, you have all your breaks together. You're in the rain together. You're under a tree together. You all put your ugly raincoats on. And that creates like bonding.
Definitely.
Because you're on the same boat, as we say.
Do you also have these WhatsApp groups?
WhatsApp groups with the guests, you mean?
Yeah.
I haven't started doing that now.
Because a lot of guests text us or email us afterwards, oh, we had a WhatsApp group and it was actually amazing and we're still in touch. So,
But can you imagine having a WhatsApp group with 10,000 people?
10,000. No, I mean per departure, one WhatsApp group.
Yeah, okay, but if you add them all up,
Yeah, but then you can leave afterwards.
it's too much for me. I really like them, but yeah, there's a little bit of a standard joke on the boat also. We're very happy to see you. And at the end of the week, we're also very happy that you continue your life.
Wow. No,
No,
but
but
maybe it's a good idea for your guests. You don't have to join the WhatsApp group though.
Often, if they want to have contact with each other, at the end of the week, we make something. I used to make like a big email list that I would send after the week. I would send the whole group emails, and then they would start sending photos around and stuff. So
That's awesome.
I just don't want to be like in a WhatsApp group that I get every 10 minutes, like pictures of the dogs and the family and the grandchildren.
No, of course not. Maybe it's useful during the tour to
During the tour, it's very
send
useful.
photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you often have return guests and guests coming up to you and be like, "Hey, Tom, I've been on the Magnifique with you 4 years ago."
Yeah, quite often. You're doing the check-in, like on day one, people slowly start to arrive. And then somebody comes at you and they look at you deep in your eyes and they're like, Tom, it's you. And I'm like, let me think. Because, the same so many years, you don't recognize everyone.
What? You don't recognize also the name of their dog?
The cat, yes.
Okay.
No, but I often ask them if I don't know it immediately, like something weird happened that week. Did it rain a lot? Did somebody fall maybe? And then they're like, yeah, Tom, this and this happened. Don't you remember? And I'm like, you start to remember it, especially if it's like 8 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, I see so many people.
Yeah.
And I won't say they all look similar, but they're all, they're all on a bike. They have the bike shorts and their fluorescent clothing, the same raincoats. So, yeah, but there's some, I've also had groups that came back and they especially ask for you. It's like a charter. And then they come and like, oh, I thought it was you. And then I already know it's going to be a great week.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, we get that a lot. Not even only with charters, but also groups who are like, we've been there 5 years ago, and can we have exactly that tour guide again? And it's so sweet.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely.
If they ask for someone else, it's not.
Not Tom.
Can happen.
Do you have a lot of incidents on your tours? Like people falling off bikes?
It happens. But luckily, most of those incidents happen when people are standing still.
What?
Yeah, they're putting their back on the bike and they're like, yes, they're standing with their bicycle already, and then they're looking at the windmill or a cow, and then I can see the bike falling, but I'm too late to rescue someone, and they just like fall flat on the ground. But then because you're not moving, it's not a problem.
Perfect.
Maybe some band-aids. Also, I've never ever seen an accident with a car, for example.
That's very good.
It's usually, and it's also like, well, in the Netherlands, it's also statistics say most people fall off their bike by themselves, not collisions. It's just like, yeah, accidents are usually silly things. It happens.
Yeah.
Usually can fix it.
Perfect. Did you get a lot of guests who were really unsure about cycling?
Also, especially those people that forgot to practice,
Yeah.
or that didn't bike for 30 years, or never biked on the road, or people that have only biked on a home trainer, like a spinning bike back home. And you see them trying out the bike, and it's all wobbly. And
It's
like,
so different
maybe
practicing on a home trainer, because then
is.
you don't get the balance feeling.
No, so they need a bit of help sometimes.
Okay. But you usually get to manage that they're still enjoying cycling.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small risk you take with them, but if they like succeed at the end of the week and they're all super proud of themselves, I think it's worth it to have them go anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the best story you can share?
Of course, I was expecting something like this. I was expecting the funniest thing that you ever... Oops, sorry, microphone.
Okay, then let me change my question. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you?
Oh, I did think about that. It was in 2019. I did look it up. It was just before COVID. I told you there was some Asian groups slowly exploring Europe on bicycle. And we had a group from Hong Kong. It's like 35 people, maybe a third of them spoke English, and the rest you had to like, yeah, you only have to know stop and go and left and right. That's if you can communicate that, that's already quite something. It was great. It was a bit chaotic, as you can expect, but it was also really fun to have such a very different culture on board. And then at the very last day, we make an extra nice dinner, or at least the chef and his crew does that. And then this group came to us. They were all friends, so the group leader came to us, and they were like, "Tom, we have a question, a request. In our country, we are used in our culture that if people are serving us the whole week, like the crew of the boats and the tour guides, we were all like serving the group basically, and they wanted to turn everything around. On the last evening, actually, they wanted to serve the entire dinner. We talked with the crew, and we were like, this is not going to be good for the quality of the dinner, but then we agreed that maybe dessert you can do. So they all got the shirts of the crew. They all dressed up as if they worked on that boat.
Oh, God.
the whole crew was sitting at the table waiting for the dessert. Of course, they also brought some bottles of rice wine, homemade probably. And so we all had to drink their rice wine, and they were serving us. And I think that was such a great thing at the end of a
Yeah.
week that we should do it every week.
Maybe you should propose that in the future to your
Yes,
groups.
I will talk to the office.
No, that's really a cute story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you manage different? Well, we talked about different nationalities within a group. How do you manage like age gaps or different expectations?
Yeah. Sometimes you see, not often, but sometimes you have families or like younger couples, maybe your age, they come in the boat. And then there's also, well, a lot of our guests are, let's say, between 50 and 80 years old. So some people, they come in with this walking stick, and you're already thinking like, is that one gonna ride a bike? And then they're on the bike and they fly away. And then the young couple, after one day with a headwind, is like, oh, we're gonna do the short tour. Maybe we stay on the boat. So the whole age thing doesn't say anything about their capabilities
Yeah.
of biking. So in that way, and you still, that is the nice part, because they're biking behind the guide makes sure that they stay together. So if it's going too fast, we will go a bit slower. And if I see people need a break, they get a break. Maybe some people need a break to rest, but then the other people are like, oh, we're having a break. We're gonna take pictures. We're gonna look at some flowers. We're gonna say hello to the sheep. All kinds of stuff like that. So because you're in a group and they all agree to be in a group, it kind of goes automatically. And it's also nice for the younger people to talk to the more experienced people. And they all have sort of a love for cycling in common. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have the same mindset if you're going on a boat bike tour. That's for sure.
yeah, it's very different from a cruise ship where you just sit in your room and wait for the restaurant to open.
Yeah, exactly.
This is people, they go outside, they starts raining. I'm like, sorry, it rains. They're like, I don't care. I have a rain jacket. I'm like,
That's
wow,
amazing.
that's great.
Yeah, we get these questions also a lot from guests. What will the weather be like? Are we still gonna cycle when the weather is bad? How do you manage that on board?
For me personally, the only times I would not go riding if I expect it to be dangerous, because you have somehow you have to decide on the safety of people. But if it's like raining a lot in the morning and we don't have so much time to wait for the rain to stop, I tell people I always go cycling. I never stay on board. I don't like sitting on the boat all the time. So if you want to come, just come. Put your raincoat on and we go.
Yeah.
And then one goes, and then they're waiting and looking at the rain, and another one goes, and another one goes, and another one. So in the end, a lot of people, yeah, as the Germans say, we're not made out of sugar,
Exactly.
and that's true.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it's really good for bonding. Like if you have a week only sunny, only beautiful weather, it's great. But people don't realize it can also be different sometimes. But if you have one day of some nice rain, they sit at dinner, so blah blah blah, and they have to talk about everything. And if it's only nice weather, they have less of a communal experience, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think also you can really see that when calamities happen or when there are any kind of special things happening on this
Yeah.
tour. It's a bonding experience.
Yeah, with the real calamities I don't like, but
No?
I think rain is enough calamity, or headwind,
No,
yeah.
I feel
or
like,
getting lost.
does that happen a lot?
No, but I do remember from the beginning of my career, sometimes you're like, where are we? But then also people are like, well, at least Tom is looking out for us and he will find a way and we don't have to discuss about it. That's also an advantage with a group, that you have someone leading the group. If there's discussions of what to do, you just decide for them. So they don't get like arguments with each other.
Or you can put an air tag on all of them to find them
Maybe.
again. Okay, but calamities, you didn't experience any, or you just don't want to talk about it?
Well, of course, there's little accidents. Once in a while, maybe once a year, you have to bring someone to an emergency room, like if they broke a bone or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's actually the worst things that can happen, I think. And then you just do your best, then the group is a little bit less important and you take more care of that person.
Yeah, I think that's a big fear from international guests that they get hurt on their tours. So it's really good also that you know how to take care of them.
Yeah, we do every year our first aid training. And it's specific also for accidents that happen on a bicycle. And ideally, we can also fix the bike if the person is okay, but the bike is broken, which happens much more often if they fall. Then it's important that you can fix things quickly.
Do you fix the bike yourself?
Most of the time, yes.
Wow. So you need all sorts of courses, the first aid course, a bike maintenance course.
Yeah, I still learned it from my dad when I was 10 years old, but nowadays people need a maintenance course. It's true.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of Dutch people basically grow up on a bike.
It's true, but most people nowadays, they don't fix their tire anymore. They bring their bike to the bike shop, just like anyone else in the world. But I'm a bit stubborn. I just like to fix it myself.
Yeah, perfect. What are other questions you get from big groups, for example, from groups on board? Are there any surprising questions?
No, I think the most questions are like, how fast are we going to bike? I'm like, don't worry. It's just going to be relaxed.
It's not the Tour de France.
Thank you. Yeah, because I have to admit, the first time, 2006, I did my first trip, I'm like, am I fit enough? I mean, I ride my bike everywhere, but am I fit for a cycling holiday? And then my first group arrived, and I told you age doesn't say a lot, but I think that group, it was also a charter, and they were between 70 and 80 years old. I'm like, okay, I think I can handle that. So
And could you?
yes, I managed. Yeah, but still, like I didn't know the route, so it was quite a lot of improvising. It was in a time that there was no fixed route, so you just had a map, a bad map, and the people keep following you. So if you're not sure, you actually have to be sure. And if you go wrong, you make sure that you can take the next turn, because the worst thing is to stop with 20 people behind you.
Yeah,
But sometimes you just have to.
I can imagine that's difficult.
Yeah, it's like I tell my new colleagues, it's like you're driving a train. A train cannot just stop like within a second. You have to like find a safe spot to stop. You have to make sure everyone's there, blah, blah. So it's it's a kind of a responsibility with if people trust you so much.
What are your favorite tours?
Yeah, that is also a question everybody asks you, especially at the end of the week. Like, we want to do another one. What is your most favorite one? But yeah, you have to realize for a tour guide, it's very different experience than for one of the guests. So yeah, maybe I like a tour a lot because I can visit some friends on the way after work. But for the people, I think it really depends on what they're interested in and countries they haven't seen, because we do a lot of tours in different countries nowadays. So it depends a bit on the person. I like to talk with them, or I'll tell them, like, maybe give me an hour and I'll get back to you, and then I'll have the perfect tour for you.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So I answered your question without answering it.
Exactly.
I like that's what I learned in my job also.
Yeah, I can see that. What's your favorite country? Your personal
My favorite country. Well, every winter I go to Kenya in Africa, and my girlfriend lives there, so I had to tell this is my favorite country. It is.
Okay, but for boat bike
Oh,
tours.
for boat bike tours. Yeah, we don't have one yet there. Um,
Unfortunately,
I
we should
grew
put it on the list.
yeah, between the lions. I grew up close to the Belgian border, so I did the tour to Bruges and Brussels many times, and I still have like a soft spot for that tour.
Yeah.
Just it's a bit like the Netherlands, but everything goes a bit slower, a little bit disorganized here and there. But I like it's charming for me.
And what kind of tours are you doing this season?
Next week, I'm gonna bike between all the tulip and flower fields on a big sailing boat, on a road bike.
Wow.
Now I'm getting stressed again if I'm fit enough, but we'll see. I do some along the Mosel River on a small boat, but also a larger boat. The new tour along the Mosel and the Rhine. Some Belgian ones, some different tours in the Netherlands. I don't look at my schedule so far ahead,
Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I wish you good luck for
Thank
the
you so
season
much.
and no incidents, hopefully.
Thanks. I'm sure it will help.
Yeah, perfect. One last question, or actually two. First of all, why should everybody do a boat bike tour?
Everybody. Because it's great to like be in a group, do something together with people from all over the place, and just it's a very it's a way of doing your holidays. You get all the nice care when you're on the ship. The food is great, the rooms are great, and during the day you're enjoying yourself. You do a little bit of exercise, which is healthy. Not too much exercise. We're not crazy, crazy people. It's just relax, and you get to meet new people, new friendships, and good tour guides, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
And then my last question. At the end of each episode, we would like to ask one frequently asked question from our guests. So the question for you is, can I join a boat bike tour without wanting to cycle?
It happens. It's also many years ago, but on one ship, I had a group, actually just mostly German speakers, I think. And there was one couple from Switzerland, and the lady loved biking, and her husband, he used to ride a bike, but he was a little bit shaky, and his balance was not good anymore. And he was like, well, I will just stay on the boat. We are, of course, you can stay on the boat. There's no problem. That's the advantage of this kind of tours. And the man was so happy. Once everyone left, he hoped everyone would go cycling. And then when everyone left, he had a nice little white wine on the deck, and he felt like a millionaire. and that couple went 3 times the same tour, the same ship, because they just loved the way of traveling, because it was perfect for them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They found their tour.
Exactly.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming here.
It was nice to talk to you.
I think we learned a lot about how tour guides handle big groups, different expectations. So thank you for sharing your experiences. Good luck with the season. And if our viewers or listeners want to know more about boat bike tours, please visit our website, boatbiketours.com. And hopefully we get to see you in the next episode.